Most people think the first signs of getting older show up in the face or the hands. They look for wrinkles or gray hair. But for a surprising number of men and women past 55, the real early warning arrives lower down. One day you notice the stairs feel steeper. Getting up from a low chair takes an extra push. Your legs simply do not answer the way they used to. That quiet loss of strength is not just inconvenience. It is often the first place the body begins to surrender muscle and power, and once the decline gathers speed, it becomes harder to reverse. The trouble is that leg weakness rarely announces itself with drama. There is no sudden pain, no dramatic fall in the beginning. Strength simply drains away in small daily increments. By the time most people recognize the problem, a meaningful amount of muscle has already been lost, balance has shifted, and the risk of a serious stumble has risen. That is why the subject matters so much. The legs are the foundation. When they weaken first, everything else becomes more difficult. For the better part of 2 decades, I have focused on how nutrition and simple daily habits influence muscle and mobility in people over 55. I have reviewed the major nutrition journals, followed clinical observations from geriatric clinics, and spoken with hundreds of patients who came in worried about their declining strength. I am not here to sell you powders or special programs. I am here to share what the evidence actually shows about everyday foods that can help support stronger legs. In the next few minutes, we will walk through 6 specific foods that research repeatedly links with better leg strength and muscle support. We will look at how each one works inside the body, what a realistic portion looks like, and one surprising point that often changes the way people approach the whole subject. Number 4, in particular, tends to stop people short because it challenges a common assumption. Before we get there, I want to give you a simple idea that will hold everything together. I call it the leg anchor principle. The leg anchor principle says that the muscles of the thighs, hips, and calves act like living anchors. When they stay strong, they keep the whole body steady, protect the joints, and give you the power to move through the day with confidence. When those anchors loosen, every other system has to work harder. The foods we are about to discuss all support those anchors in different but complementary ways. Let us begin with the first food. Fatty fish, such as salmon, sardines, or mackerel. These fish deliver high-quality protein together with long-chain omega-3 fats. Protein supplies the amino acids the body needs to repair and maintain muscle fibers. The omega-3s appear to reduce low-grade inflammation that can interfere with muscle recovery and growth, especially as we age. A review of nutrition research looking at older adults found that people who regularly ate oily fish tended to retain more lower body strength over time compared with those who rarely included it. The practical step is straightforward. Aim for 2 servings a week, each about the size of the palm of your hand. If fresh fish is difficult, good quality canned sardines or salmon work well and are often more affordable. Grill, bake, or gently pan-cook them rather than deep frying so the beneficial fats remain intact. The second food is Greek-style yogurt or thick natural yogurt with live cultures. Beyond the protein, which is already higher than regular yogurt, the fermentation process produces peptides that some studies suggest may help the body use protein more efficiently. For older adults whose digestion of protein can become less efficient, this matters. A look at clinical observations in community-dwelling adults over 60 showed better measures of leg power among those who included fermented dairy regularly. Choose plain versions without added sugar. A single serving of 150 to 200 grams at breakfast or as a mid-afternoon snack gives a solid protein boost. You can stir in a few berries if you prefer a little sweetness, but keep the base plain so you control what goes in. If this is already making sense, take a second and type the number 2 in the comments so I know you are with me. It helps me see how many of us are thinking about this together. Third on the list is eggs, especially the whole egg. For years, many people avoided the yolk because of cholesterol concerns. Yet more recent nutrition science has shown that for the majority of healthy older adults, the yolk is a valuable source of nutrients that support muscle. Eggs provide complete protein, leucine, which is a key amino acid for triggering muscle protein synthesis, and vitamin D, which plays a quiet but important role in muscle function. Observational data from several countries have linked higher egg intake in older adults with better measures of lower limb strength and reduced risk of frailty. 2 eggs a day is a practical and safe amount for most people. Soft boil, scramble, or poach them. If you have been told by your own doctor to limit eggs for a specific medical reason, of course follow that guidance. But for the average person past 55, the whole egg is a simple, inexpensive muscle ally. Now comes the point that often surprises people. The fourth food is not a high-protein item at all. It is leafy greens, particularly spinach, kale, and Swiss chard. These vegetables supply nitrate, which the body converts into nitric oxide. Nitric oxide helps blood vessels relax and improves blood flow to working muscles. Better circulation means more oxygen and nutrients reach the leg muscles during activity and recovery. A body of research examining dietary nitrates has shown measurable improvements in muscle efficiency and endurance in older adults who increased their green leafy intake. There is a caution here, which is why this is the nuanced item on the list. People who take certain blood-thinning medications or who have been advised to limit vitamin K need to discuss large increases in leafy greens with their doctor first. For everyone else, 1 to 2 generous handfuls a day, either cooked lightly or blended into a smoothie, is a realistic target. The benefit is real, yet it is not unlimited, and that honesty is important. The fifth food is beans and lentils. These plant foods deliver both protein and a form of carbohydrate that releases energy slowly, helping to keep blood sugar steady during the day. Steady energy supports consistent activity, and consistent activity is what keeps leg muscles working. In addition, the fiber and polyphenols in legumes appear to support a healthier gut environment, which in turn influences how well the body handles inflammation and nutrient absorption. Population studies tracking older adults over several years have repeatedly noted better physical function scores among those who ate legumes several times a week. A practical portion is half a cup of cooked beans or lentils, added to soups, salads, or simple stews. If you are not used to them, start with smaller amounts and increase gradually so your digestion can adjust. If you have found any of these suggestions useful so far, consider hitting the subscribe button so you do not miss the next conversation we have on keeping strength as the years advance. It is free, and it helps the channel reach others who need the same information. The sixth and final food is nuts, especially walnuts and almonds. A small handful provides plant protein, healthy fats, magnesium, and vitamin E. Magnesium is involved in hundreds of processes including muscle contraction and relaxation. Vitamin E acts as an antioxidant that helps protect muscle cells from everyday oxidative stress. Clinical observations and dietary pattern studies have linked regular nut consumption with better grip strength and lower limb performance in older populations. The key is portion control, because nuts are energy-dense. 20 to 30 grams, roughly a small closed handful, is enough. Choose unsalted and unroasted when possible, or lightly toast them yourself at home. Somewhere in the middle of these 6 sits a quiet truth that many people overlook. Strength does not return overnight. The leg anchor principle works through consistent daily choices rather than dramatic single meals. That is why the foods above are ordinary items you can buy in any ordinary shop. They do not require special orders or expensive brands. They simply need to appear on your plate with regularity. Let me tell you about Margaret. She is a fictional but typical example drawn from the kinds of stories I have heard many times. Margaret was 68, lived alone, and had begun to notice that rising from her favorite armchair required more effort each month. She was not ill, simply weaker. After a conversation about the leg anchor principle, she began adding 2 eggs at breakfast, a serving of Greek yogurt in the afternoon, and a handful of spinach with her evening meal. She also walked a little more around her neighborhood. 6 months later, she reported that the chair no longer felt like an obstacle. Her energy was steadier, and she felt more confident on the stairs. The change was not dramatic or miraculous. It was gradual and realistic, exactly the kind of outcome that sustainable habits produce. This advice is not for everyone in the same way. If you have advanced kidney disease, certain digestive disorders, or have been placed on a highly restricted diet by your physician, some of these foods may need adjustment. The same is true if you experience sudden unexplained weakness, numbness, severe pain, or rapid loss of strength in one leg more than the other. Those symptoms require prompt medical attention rather than dietary changes alone. Always treat food as a support, never as a replacement for proper diagnosis or prescribed treatment. Here is a simple action plan you can begin this week. First, choose 2 of the 6 foods and add them to meals you already eat. Second, keep portions realistic so the change feels easy rather than overwhelming. Third, notice how your legs feel after 2 or 3 weeks of consistency. Fourth, if balance or strength remains a concern, speak with your doctor or a physiotherapist about appropriate movement alongside the nutrition. Fifth, repeat the pattern rather than chasing perfection. Small, steady steps protect the anchors far better than short, intense efforts that fade. Next time, we will look at how sleep and simple daily movement interact with these same foods to protect muscle even further. If someone you care about has begun to notice their legs weakening, send this conversation their way. And if you would like more practical discussions like this one, subscribe so we can keep the conversation going. This information is for educational purposes only and is not a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Always consult your own doctor before making significant changes to your diet or activity, especially if you have existing health conditions or take medication. Take care of those legs. They carry everything that matters.